The leaks for chapter 358 was interesting to say the least. In this video, we see some crazy things, and mainly from Blue Lock's side, as we see them leveling up a gear, but I know you guys don't like being spoiled, so you will have to wait to know more. However, trust me as the ending, after that is just crazy. Now just a heads up, this week's leaks are worse than before, as we doesn't seem to even have a summary, so as always, just try and take this with a grain of salt, rather than something that is 100% real or true. But so not to waste any time, let's get right into it. Alright. So chapter 358, also called Heaven Piercing Bullet. It starts off with us being with the boy Aiku. As I already mentioned, we have no summary, so this will all be my own words. Anyway, Aiku is completely locked in, as he manages to send a pretty disgusting pass between two of the England players. The commentators also seem to be saying something, but what it is will be left unanswered, sadly. Moving on, remember the pass I talked about? Well, it went towards Shidu, who, just as Aiku looks completely immersed in the game, as he does some sort of cute little jump to trap the ball. However, before him, he is faced with three of the England players, who are all standing in Shidu's way, to try and take our demon freak down. Obviously they are all saying something, but looking at the panels for me is like listening to music on mute, and yeah, you can hear how that sounds. Leaving that, we see that Shidu doesn't seem to challenge the England players, but instead passes the ball to the ultra sadist Hiyori, who we can see is running on his right side. As Hiyori gets the ball, his eyes look ahead right away. Now ahead of him are both Zantetsu and Yukimia, who seem to be putting in some real good pace on the sides. It's not only them either, as Shidu isn't out of the picture yet, as he starts to look manic as he also puts in another gear. While that goes on, we see Henri, who is watching this go down from the bench. She can be seen eyeing down Zantetsu, Yukimia, Shidu and Hiyori extra much, probably explaining the reason for why they decided to use these players in this game specifically, and what their reasoning or strategy actually was, which is one thing I'm actually super interested about, so it sucks to not get to hear it right now. Moving on, we get back to Hiyori, who seems to be sending the ball away, and towards those three previously mentioned players. But who will it be that gets the ball? Well, it seems like I got ahead of myself, as Hiyori in the end passed towards Karasu, who traps the ball with minimal effort, but under him we get a panel which, like no joke, might be the best panel in the history of Blue Lock, since we can firstly see a crow in the air, symbolizing Karasu, but not only that, since the crow is holding three different chains, one to each of the heads of Cerberus. Now, Cerberus, if you didn't know, is this three-headed dog, which is from Greek mythology, and most of the time referenced as the kind of Mount of Hades. Now, who are the heads representing? Well, it seems to be Zantetsu, Shidu, and Yukimia, who are all really close to each other and are running at full speed. Sorry if it does sound confusing, but I can promise you that tomorrow in the chapter review, you will be blown away by this panel. We then move to the first one of them, who is Shidu, as he manages to shake off one of the England players. Karasu obviously sees that right away, so he sends the pass away to Hiyori, who is a bit closer, and when Hiyori gets it, he then sends it away to Shidu in a flash. This pass is also really dope, as the curve is pretty impressive. It seems to be going towards Shidu without any problems at all, but sadly, it doesn't stay like that, since Agi then comes on Shidu's side, and puts his hand onto Shidu's chest to try and block him off. The two of them continue their insane duel, as the ball only continues to also get closer, but when the ball is extremely close to making contact, we then see that Isagi comes out of nowhere, and actually seems to be stealing the pass from Shidu. If you remember how he was in the Neo Egoist League matches, then it was pretty similar to that. Isagi gets the ball with his meta vision eyes fully out, and not to mention a ton of puzzle pieces are scattered around him. Agi seems to be pretty amazed by that, whereas Shidu looks extremely pissed off to have gotten the pass stolen right under his nose. After that, we move into his brain, where I'm sure that he is saying a ton of important stuff. But yeah, for me, there's nothing to read sadly. However, we can see that one of the panels that he is thinking of is the panel where Kiora stole the ball off Agi, and that seems to have influenced him a ton. We then get back to real time, where he looks right towards the England goalkeeper, and with no one in front of him, he decides to send away the ball. However, when I said that he had no one in front of him, that might have been a bit misleading, as while he didn't have anyone. In front of him he did have Teddy, right by his right side, who came in front of the ball, which Isagi tried to send away. Just then it goes dark and blank behind of Isagi, as he can't believe it. Meanwhile, Teddy looks just as emotionless as always, as he seems to be telling Isagi something. After that, we follow the ball, which is now soaring high up into the air from Teddy's block. Unfortunately, Isagi seems to be too far away from it, but fear not, as someone else is eyeing it down, and that's the goat Zantetsu. Now Zantetsu doesn't waste a single second, as he instead puts his feet right onto the ground, and his eyes starts to light up with a glowing flare, as he then takes off just like a rocket, going past multiple of the England players, who had no chance of keeping up with his pace. With that, it's now only Zantetsu versus the goalkeeper, as both of them are heading for the ball, and both of them wants to get it, if it's the last thing that either of them does. Sadly, and this truly breaks my heart, but we see that the goalkeeper is the one who gets to the ball first and punches the ball away, even though Zantetsu was like so extremely close to it, like you are going to see in the video tomorrow, but he was right there, almost. The England players get extremely hyped up by that, as they think that they managed to prevent Blue Lock from scoring a goal. However, do you remember the ball which the goalkeeper punched out? Well, it's heading towards an extremely hungry Yukimia, who is kind of lying in secret and waiting. He then gets out his predator eyes, and he starts to grind his teeth together. That's just how much he truly wants this goal, but will he get it? That's the question, as we can see him then firing off the ball towards the goal, and the goalkeeper is unable to do anything, since he is currently on his knees from saving the ball from Zantetsu. And while we can see the ball going to the goal, we also see the star boy Isagi saying something, but it seems like we will skip over it, since the ball from Yukimia flows perfectly into the goal. It's extremely similar to the goal that he managed to do against Manshine City, I'm pretty sure, with the sword and the bounce effect. Anyway, this obviously makes everyone there scream out of pure happiness, and we also see both Zantetsu and Yukimia going to hug each other, since this truly was their hard work that paid off for this goal. Isagi also gets a big grin on his face, as even though he himself didn't score, he seems extremely pleased with them scoring the goal and now being even with England. We continue to be in Isagi's head as he is looking closely at Agi, who is now just walking on the field. While looking at him, we can clearly see his puzzle pieces spinning, and he even gets out his metavision as he looks at him. With that, it truly seems that Isagi has found a way to utilize Agi to his advantage, and maybe Agi will be the key for Blue Lock to win. But sadly, it seems like we will never know as Fox gets up from his coaching seat, and then in the next panel, we see his ugly face as he looks extremely creepy while signaling that they are making a substitution. Now, who is going out? Well, it's none other than Agi, sadly, who actually looks sad to be seeing this. We are unsure who is going in currently, but as Isagi sees this decision by Fox, he looks really shocked and lost. But by his side, we also have Ego, who seems to be saying something. Now that's actually extremely sad. I was so excited to see Agi playing in this game, and then he only gets about 4 chapters on the screen. Like, I'm seriously mad. We have waited since the Manshine City game in the Neo Egoist League, which must have been way over 150 chapters now. That's like 2.5 years, and then when we finally get to see Agi in the game, he gets subbed out in an instant. There might be a super important translation, which we are obviously missing, but I really don't think that it's the case. You also have to realize that Agi sadly kind of made it possible for Blue Lock to score, since he went away from Fox's intention with the team by showing his own ego, which we already saw in the last chapter that Fox really wasn't a fan of. But I mean, even then, it truly sucks, or that's how I personally feel, but let me know in the comments how you feel about all of this. Also, I want to mention that from the information I have, there doesn't seem to be a break next week, but I do not currently have the title for it, sadly. But honestly, this chapter was pretty peak. I'm sorry if it was boring for you guys since there was no translation, but I can assure you that you should be ready for tomorrow since this chapter really was peak. Like, we had Zantetsu and Yukimia basically going for a joint goal together. Now, I know that it wasn't truly a joint goal, but kinda, you know. Also, just Yukimia being the one who gets the starting goal for Blue Lock is something which I truly can get behind. Now, from all of this, I would have given this chapter a 10 out of 10, but because of the Agi sub, it has to be like a 7 out of 10. But please let me know what you would rate this chapter and how you feel about all of this. Anyway, if you like Blue Lock and videos like this, then I would highly suggest you subscribe to this channel, and while you are at it, leave a comment and a like. Also, if you can, hype the video down below, as it helps out with the algorithm a ton. And if you are curious to see another video of mine, then please watch the video that will be popping up on the screen now. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye.